Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Wishes as per your time zone. Folks, we're back again, all because you wouldn't let us go. Thank you so much for your wonderful responses and your likes, your comments, your views, and your shares, etc., etc. Everything. Thank you so much for reaching out to us as well. We really do appreciate all your support. Ilenia, what's cooking?
What's cooking? I love it. Hello, everyone. Hello again. And well, we did our last video on the 7 ways of creating a great customer experience, which was rich on tips and knowledge on how to do that. And this is our 4th video, which is very exciting as well. And we're doing this video because it's asked us this a lot. And the challenge for companies and organizations is to measure your customer experience efforts. And so what we'd like to do in this video is to explain ways of measuring your customer experience efforts. So my take on measuring your organization customer experience is in this video is in 4 ways.
Wow.
Exactly. And then you, Ayaz, you can have your take on this as well. So for number 1, I'd like to suggest to analyze the customer satisfaction surveys results. Every company must do customer satisfaction surveys on a regular basis. A lot of companies don't do it. They just don't, because they believe, they just assume that customers wouldn't fill any surveys, but actually customers do, because customers want you to provide a better experience or better better product or better service. So they actually do. So for example, after a meaningful moment along the customer journey, provide that customer survey, provide that moment and that opportunity for your customers to share their opinion. So that's number 1. Number 2, identify rate and reasons for customer churn. Okay, so this is another thing that a lot of companies struggle with. Unfortunately, you see churn happening, and unfortunately it's part of business, right? Because customers jump from one company to another. Some customers are more loyal than others to a brand. But what is important is that you learn from churn when it happens, so that you can hopefully prevent it from happening for the same reason. So make sure that you are doing a very careful analysis of your customer churn rate, whether it's increasing or decreasing. Try to understand what's going on there. That's my number 2 point. But my number 3 point is ask customers for product or feature requests. So ask your customers, whether it's surveys or just recommendations on, improvements on your product or service. So try to understand what your customer like and don't like about your products and service with a forum, for example, whether it's via email survey, social media, or community forum. Give your customers the opportunity to proactively give their opinion. Okay, so try to have that, whether it's a survey, for example, or just, you promptly asking for a recommendation from your customers or suggestions or feedback. Try to do that on a regular basis. So this is very similar to point 1. Last point, Ayaz, is analyze the customer support ticket trends, okay? Imagine that not all organizations have customer support team, but if you do have a customer support team, ask them what are the most recurring issues that cause pain to your customers. And obviously, try to resolve the issues as soon as you can, okay? So these are my 4th point on measuring your customer experience efforts. But I would love to hear your take on this video, which is absolutely super important after you created a great customer experience strategy.
Well, those are really wonderful points, Ilenia. I mean, in fact, to build on them, when you talk about customer surveys, okay. Um, Now, the surveys, there are two ways of doing about it: internal and external. Internal surveys is like, let's say I, as a company, I would like after my interaction, I would like to reach out to the customer and ask them, how did I do? In all probability, the customer may give me a biased feedback, just because I've spoken to him and he
Of
doesn't want to
course.
disappoint me or whatever. Or he maybe he's upset with me for whatever XYZ reason and he just wants to vent out.
Right. Right.
In all probability, he would give me a very biased feedback. To
Yeah.
eliminate that, I can, when I talk to the customer as an external surveyor, I'll be able to get a true opinion of what he or she has to say or feel, or what he will share what he or she felt. So that's where I'll
Absolutely.
be able to gauge, have a better understanding as to what is a customer saying, and if he's saying, why is he saying it? And that way,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be able to, and when I talk to a number of customers, so essentially, what I can do is, when I talk to a number of customers, I can actually build data. And again, being an analyst from an analytics perspective, once I have the data in place, I'll be able to map it with why this customer had called, what was the
Mm-hmm.
resolution, what was informed to him, was it a resolution or not, was it a repeat, or how many times has he asked for the issue, whether it's a repeat or a first time, and whether it was resolved or not, and if he's unhappy, why is he unhappy? CSAT is only a number, a meaningless number. I'm not worried about the CSAT. I am going to be worried about whether it's a repeat. I mean, how many times has a customer have to reach out to get an issue resolved, and whether it's, and what happens, and how many times does he have to reach out to level 1 escalation, level 2 escalation, level 3 escalation, and so on and so forth. So these are the gaps which I would look to plug in based on the reason why customers are calling in. Of course, yes, I would look to plug those gaps primarily, either with technology or with automation or with process improvements or whatever. And then if customers are not happy for whatever XYZ reason, um, I can classify them into issues related to the product, to the service, to the policies, or to people, or
Yeah.
miscellaneous. And I can assign a number to each, and accordingly I'll be able to give a recommendation. Either if there's something which is beyond my control, I would give a recommendation. But if something which I can
Absolutely.
influence, something like, it could be, if it's related to policy, that's where business process improvements could come into play. If it's related to people, that's where uh, different types of training come into play. It could be leadership development, it could be customer service and soft skills training, it could be different types of
Mm-hmm.
training programs. It could be a combination of coaching, mentoring as well. So that's where we come into play. So based on this, accordingly, this is how we can actually kind of approach it, and take it.
Sorry, I dropped something. I don't know what it was.
That's fine.
Absolutely, I can't agree more with that. And I'd like to take up on your point that you said doing external surveys is very important because that customer doesn't give you a bias feedback. That is super important, something that absolutely you are spot on that, because customers usually, they are very polite. Not usually, actually, customers are very polite, but some customers are more direct than others. So perhaps try to give the opportunity to customers to give you that anonymous feedback, so that they can be more relaxed on giving that feedback. So that's very good. Thank you for reminding me that. That was very good.
Yep, absolutely. Folks, you've been hearing all our discussions and you've been participating in it, and I'm sure you would have plenty of thoughts running through your mind. You would have your views as well. Yes, some of you are entrepreneurs, some of you are service providers, some of you are employees of companies. Some of you have but all of you are customers of
Mm-hmm.
some service provider or of some company or the other. What
Yeah,
is your take on all our points that we have put to the table? We would love to hear your thoughts, your feedback, and your views on it.
absolutely.